I'm alive. Sharing the live. I'm alive. It's alive. Anyhow. Hey, Patricia. So Rena is on. I like her channel. Do you know that this app now tattles on you? It says you didn't complete the heart mission. It's become a tattletale. Oh dear. Anyhow. I have had a blecky day. Trying to pull it back together a little. Oh, my eyes are tired today. I had a most of the day power outage. Got fixed at about 6 o'clock. And one of the people I drive regularly has not been consistent with payment for rides. And it's causing me some issues. So, yeah. So we're sitting out here having a can of the stew that comes from the church. Since grocery run was last week, I said, hey, can you put in for a few cans of stew for me? She must have put in for 6 because I got 6 cans of beef stew. And I like the church's beef stew, but it's a small can. It's not the big one like you get from Denny Moore. So it's perfect one meal. But I add peas and carrots, and this time I added some broccoli to it. So I'm okay. I'm really hungry, and I'm staring at a thing of the peanut stuffed pretzels. You know, these. And I really want to just open it up and start munching, but I've got food cooking. I think I went live the New Year's Day. I really don't remember. My friend has been on live several times, and I've gone and just, type talked with her. I haven't gone live with her. But, and one of my friends has been live a couple of times, and I've tried to join because he's got 10 boxes open and, like 3 or 4 people talking, and the rest of the boxes are empty. And he's not taking me into their lives, so I don't know if I pissed him off somehow, and I apologize if I did, or if I just didn't fit the vibe of that group of friends, which is possible. I gotta stir this because it has a tendency to burn on the bottom. I love this little pot, but it cooks hotter than the red one. But this is the one that I grabbed today, so. It's, we've had some cold days. I mean, actually, we hit 39 New Year's Day. My heater quit working. Okay, it was just before New Year's, I think. But my heater quit working. And I figured out a way to at least have the fan part of it running, which blows warmed air but not hot. And so my room was like 68 while outside it was 39. So I mean, it was okay, but it wasn't perfect. It wasn't as toasty as I like to be. It's so funny. In the summer, I can't get cold enough, and in the winter, I can't get warm enough. Just getting old, I guess. Hey, Aunt Sue. And Tony's here. Today it was in the 70s. And felt good. I'm not cold because, as you can see, I'm sitting out here in sleeveless. But I'm comfortable. Oh, no. Oh, Christopher, that sucks. I've been there. It's not fun. It's really bad when you're up north, too. Ugh, excuse me. I'm so sorry. And I've got to get up at 7:30 and drive my friend to work again. Oh, upstate or New York City area? I have family in like the Rochester area. No, nothing is affordable. And it's getting worse. I mean, gas prices came down, but nothing else did. New York City, yeah. I have a few friends that live in and around the city. My favorite teacher from high school, he's in his 70s, lives in New York City. I haven't moved yet, obviously. Not exactly sure what I'm going to do. This friend who owes me money for driving him was supposed to pay me on Sunday. He didn't. Monday, he didn't. Here it is. Well, technically, it's Wednesday morning at this point, and he still owes me $210. So I'm just kind of waiting it out. Oh, I do love it here. I don't love the fact that they've raised the lot rent again, and my income went down, so I can't afford to stay here anymore. And it shows in the fact that I'm being evicted, because I haven't been able to cover the lot rent for several months. And reality hit me when the second month rolled up, and I was so overdrawn, and by the time my check came in, I had like $300 left. So I have started driving Lyft a little bit, but not as much as I would like. And the one friend that I drive who buys and sells cars, all of the rides have been super long, and by the time I get back home, I'm so exhausted. I can't drive anybody else because he leaves stuff in the back seat no matter how many times I ask him not to. And you can't drive with a messy car, because if you do, you get reported, and 2 or 3 of those reports, and you can get your ability to drive for Lyft revoked. And or at least until you prove that your car is clean. And it's like, you can't help it if the, first passenger messes up the car, then the next 4 have to deal with it. So, the rice is starting to swell up good. I added some rice to it because I've been having some stomach issues, and I want the rice to help. I reach this point and I start doing a turn off and just let it sit in the ultra, hot liquid for 5 minutes, and then turn it back on for a couple of minutes to get it back up to bubbling. Florida. As in the state of Florida. Or we could say the state of confusion, the state of constant my mom would have said a state of denial. She loved to say that one because she would spell it D-E space and then N-I-L-E as if the Nile River. She loved that pun. I saw a really good play on words the other day, and I can't remember what it was, but it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. I should have written it down, but I was driving, so I couldn't. Heimdall will go with me just as he always does. He eats I don't give him kibble, I give him air-dried or freeze-dried food. And then he eats apples and fresh vegetables and burgers because we can get them cheap. And I tell them no salt. I mean, I get them as plain as possible so he's not eating bad. But, and when I can, I make them myself. Usually it's lamb when I make them because I get ground lamb. Spades! I can play that game. I get one that you actually can find at Walmart, amazingly. I started getting it through Amazon, and then I found it at Walmart for like $2 cheaper. It's called Pawstruck, Pawstruck, and Heimdall loves it. Chicken, rice, and carrots are good, but if you're cooking for your dog, you need to find a way to supplement with the vitamins that they need. Definitely get fish oil to put on the food because fish oil is really, really good for them, for their heart and stuff. But find some way to give them collagen, like bone broth, but make it yourself. Don't buy it because, well, you can buy at a specialty pet shop because then it won't have any salt in it. It's really not good for them. Cottage cheese is okay, but it's cow's milk. And dogs and cats do better if it's goat or sheep milk. So, again, at specialty stores, you can get raw goat milk in little bottles. It comes frozen, you thaw it, and you use it over the course of 3 or 4 days. Royal Canine is a kibble, and it is overcooked, and it's not as good for their stomach as freeze-dried or fresh, like the farmer's dog. That is really good because it's got the brewer's yeast and all the other things that they need added to it there is a vitamin that they add, and it's like thiamine L or something. I don't remember. But there are some vitamins that goes into pre-made dog food. The problem with kibble is it's cooked at such a high heat that about 2/3 of the nutritional value is gone. This is the one that he likes for the wet food, and it's really good. And this has those vitamins and stuff added. Has crude protein, crude fat. Actually, this is chicken, carrot, pumpkin, salmon, pea, as in green peas, chicken bone broth, sunflower oil, kale, sage, thyme, and rosemary. That's the ingredients. So that's a very clean ingredient list. And I think we need to go at least one more round because the rice still looks a little crunchy. I find this at Walmart. It's like 98 cents a package. So it's fairly cheap. And I found yesterday in Winn-Dixie, if you still have Winn-Dixie in your area, try Winn-Dixie. I was very surprised to see it there. So, and for small dogs, I mean, this is supposed to be a meal topper, but for dogs Heimdall size or smaller, this could be a full, like a breakfast or a dinner. It is made Los Angeles, California. No corn, no wheat, no soy. Oh no, it says product of Thailand, but distributed by Jinx Inc. in Los Angeles, California. I'm not as worried about things from Thailand as I would be China, you know. Oh, tiny dogs, a lot of them can't eat chicken. It's really weird. They do make a formula that's beef and, I think it's beef and lamb, or beef and whitefish or something. But they have a variety that's made with beef instead of chicken. So Thailand's a little iffy, but not as bad as China. Okay, we're back up to boiling. We're going to do this switch on and off a couple of times so it doesn't burn on the bottom. Oh, I feel like I should sit over the pot and get a steam. Anyway. I'm halfway between being hungry and wanting a nap. I had to go out during the day, so I came home and slept from like 7 to 10, and now I'm awake and hungry. Yeah, I kept trying to get a hold of my friend to get the money, and we're going to have a serious talk the next time I get to see him, because it's one thing to owe me 20 out of what it cost for the ride. It's another thing to owe me for 3 rides in a row and tell me, oh, I'm selling this car as soon as I get back into town, so I'll come and drop off the cash to you after the guy buys it, and then ghost me. He didn't call me at all that day, and I didn't hear from him yesterday, and I didn't hear from him yesterday. So yeah. Oh yeah, there were tolls on that ride. So yes. So I've got to fill my Sun Pass too, because that's down to $15 again. But I'll drive Lyft tomorrow after I drop my other friend off to work. I'll do a couple of hours of Lyft, and that'll give me the money to pay the tolls. I think, let me see, one of these is a spoon and not a fork. Fork, knife. Okay, no spoon. We will just go with a fork. Fork it. I keep getting handed these, plasticware when I go to Wendy's or whatever. I don't always use them. So okay, let's see if the rice is still crunchy or not. No, it's perfect. Just unplug. We're good to go. Move the lid out of the way. And see? Stew that I've embellished upon. I mean, it comes with potatoes and kind of mushy carrots. So I add frozen peas and carrots. This time I added broccoli instead of spinach and kale. And I put rice in it to thicken it up. Oh, and I buy, since I don't have a working refrigerator right now, but my freezer works, I've been using my ice cube trays and filling it with chicken stock or beef stock, making cubes, and then, putting them into Ziploc bags. So I put about 7 or 8 heart-shaped, because that's what my ice cube trays are, heart-shaped frozen chicken stock in here to be able to cook the rice. Hey, Cartier. Hey, Jody. Oof. Okay. It's very hot, but delicious. Didn't add any spice to it this time. Normally I put curry powder in there. I guess I just didn't feel like curry today. Oof. I use a shampoo that has rosemary and tea tree oil, and it makes my scalp tingle. Hey, Raven Snowbird. Ooh, that's a lovely name. That is a really lovely name. I grew up in the age of hippies and stuff, so I love the hippie-ish names. And that could also be Native American. It's really hot, but it's so tasty. Okay. Seriously, it's so slow. Well, it says to celebrate, but it doesn't. Oh, add a. Okay. We've got a sticker. No, I didn't want to delete it. Sorry. I will learn how to work that. Oh, Linda, I am so sorry. Broken hip is. It's the beef stew with a whole lot of stuff added to it. Oh, the bottom part of that was lava hot. Hey, Mari. I'm still here. I remember we had this really lovely family friend, Marjorie Shook. She's passed away. She was a publisher. She had a vanity press, and she sponsored the writers' conference held at the St. Pete Bayborough campus for USF. Yes, I'm still doing the driving. Anyway, she was on a trip with her best friend, and they were in the airport in New York, I think Kennedy, I'm not positive, and a mugger stole the purse off of her friend's shoulder, and Marjorie, God love her, already in her 70s, chased the mugger down and tackled him in the airport. They didn't know it, but she broke her hip when she tackled him, and she went 5 years before they finally diagnosed this improperly healed hip, and they had to do a full hip replacement. And I went and stayed in her house and took care of her dogs and cats and stuff. She was a Viking, or Valkyrie, more. The name of her press was Valkyrie Press. She was of that heritage, and she was my hero. Honestly, she was my hero. I love that woman. I got the news of her death after we moved to Richmond. Mom and I were pulling into Walmart, and Marjorie's secretary called me and said, I thought you should know. Marjorie passed away last night. And Mom and I just sat there in the parking lot and cried because we both loved her. She was an amazing woman. Sorry, I just got weepy. When I moved back, that was hard. So many people that we were friends with, they were in my parents' age bracket, and I've lost most of them. Evidently, if it's the large scapula, is that what it's call it, the large part of the hip. If that cracks, you can go a long time before you realize it. It's when it starts healing and the arthritis forms around the joint that it starts to become noticeable. And then you get an x-ray and a doctor goes, oh, well, crap. You need hip replacement. Getting your balance back and probably getting your spine to realign. Jessica, I've broken that poor tailbone 3 times. My mom broke it with a paddle spanking me when I was 6. She wailed on my ass. My horse broke it when I was in my teens. I fell off of her and landed right on my tailbone on a log. I take that back. 4 times. It was broken 4 times. My baby, when I had her, broke it because she was pushing into the tailbone instead of away from. So she snapped it. And then the fall in the sinkhole broke it again. So yeah, my poor tailbone has been put through the ringer. I remember they're doing all the x-rays after the fall in the sinkhole. And they started from here and they x-rayed me all the way down to my toes. I had damaged the shoulder, broken the elbow, tore tendons in my wrist, ruptured a disc in the back of my neck. All 5 lumbar vertebrae were broken, L1 through 5, the tailbone. I dislocated both knees because one was from going in the hole and the other was from my leg going like this, backwards. The one that stayed on the pavement before I flipped over backwards. And I broke not the ankle, but the left heel. The part that comes down on your heel, that was broken because of the way my foot went through the hole. And then my right ankle was sprained from, again, that torsion sideways. And amazingly, I got up, got into my car, pulled myself out of the hole, into the car, looked into the hole and mourned my shoe that was lost to the bottom of the hole and said something to the effect of, that was my favorite ballet flats. Mary Jane type shoes. I called them ballet flats. And I drove off because I could not feel anything except through 2 layers of clothing. I took skin off right here. And I remember getting down the road a little bit, and there was 2 police officers who'd pulled someone over who was drunk driving. And I pulled off on the other side, and I went, "Excuse me, could you come here a second?" to one of the officers. My nails are... Put polish on, and I didn't buy polish remover, so of course now I've got raggedy... driving me crazy. I gotta buy polish remover. Anyway, I called one of the officers over, and I got the right one. Thank God. But I held up my arm. I'd pulled the sleeve up, and I went, "Is my elbow bleeding?" And he's shining the light in my eyes, thinking we got 2 drunks in one night. And he says, "It's a little oozy looking." He says, "What happened?" And I looked at him, and I pointed back to where I came from, and I said, "I fell in a sinkhole." He had done the same thing not as drastically as I did, but a sinkhole on the other side of the road a month beforehand. So he knew I wasn't making up stories. And he was wonderful, and he said, "Do you want me to call an ambulance?" And I said, "Well, I'm supposed to be picking up my friend in Ybor City. She's 22 and blonde and really not capable of taking care of herself, and very drunk." And I said, "I really think I need to go get her." And he says, "Well, it's up to you." And I said, "What hospital would they take me to if you did?" And he named the hospital. They've all changed names, except for Tampa General. But the ones up by the university have changed names. And he named the hospital, and I said, "Isn't that the one they cut the wrong foot off on a patient?" And he goes, "Yeah." I said, and a couple of weeks later, an itinerant worker who was polishing floors unplugged somebody's life support to plug in the floor polisher. "Yeah, I'll go to my own hospital, thank you." I was so adrenaline rush shock that I couldn't feel anything except for the skin that I took off until the next morning. Then it all set in. Then I called my mom. "Mom, I need to go to the hospital. I fell, and I think I've got broken bones." And my mom said, "What do you mean you fell?" And I says, "I was standing in a parking lot when it opened up underneath me." And she goes, "Well, who found you?" And I said, "What do you mean, who found me?" She says, "You fainted, right?" I said, "No, I didn't faint. I fell in a sinkhole." And she says, "Okay, well, take a pain pill and stay in bed. You'll be fine." I said, "I'm not fine, Mom. I can't move. Everything's in pain. It's all hurting and locked up." And she says, "Well, Helene just got here." That was her best friend. "And we're going for lunch at this fancy restaurant that was in a shopping center near her. And then we're going to shop in the very upscale department store that I cannot remember the name of. I keep saying Nordstrom's. It's not Nordstrom's. Neiman Marcus. It was a Neiman Marcus store." And she says, "Just stay in bed. Take a pain pill." And I was thinking, yeah, this is more than just a pain pill kind of thing. So I don't know how I did it. Pulled myself out of bed, put a pair of pants on underneath my Figment nightshirt from Epcot, the Purple Dragon Figment. I don't know if you've been to Epcot, but anyway, the nightshirt came to my knees. It was huge. But I pulled a pair of pants on, and I drove myself to Meese Countryside, which was 13 miles away. And they came out with a wheelchair, and some valet parked my car, and they took me in. And I waited 2 hours before they got me into x-ray. And it took 3 hours to do all the x-rays because it was really painful and difficult. And they had to lower my shoulders to get a clear shot of the cervical. They had to have me hold weighted bags. And here I've got broken on this side, but I have to hold weighted bags to drag the shoulders down. And I was in tears, but at the same time I was making the poor technicians laugh because I kept telling jokes, because the more pain I'm in, the more I crack jokes. It was a vicious cycle. Anyway, it was about 9:30 at night when I finally called Mom. I have now a cast from here to here, my hip to my toes on the left side, and a brace for my right knee and ankle. And I call up Mom, and and a brace around the lower back. And the doctor and I joked that you can't put your butt in a sling, the broken tailbone, that all you can do for that is sit on a donut, the cushion that has a hole in the middle. So, oh my God. I call Mom up from the hospital and I'm like, I need a ride home. And she says, well, how'd you get there? I drove. Well, can't you drive yourself home? No, Mom, you're not getting this concept. I have a cast from my shoulder to my fingertips and hip to my toes. And she said, what side's it on? I said, the left. She says, well, you drive with your right. And I'm like, oh, I can't get the left leg in the car door because it's in a straight cast. Yeah. She finally came and got me after the doctor got on the phone and shouted at her. Listen, Mrs. Ross. Anyway, they wanted to take me to their house with the rock hard bed in the spare bedroom that they bought for my brother's convenience because he liked a hard bed and I do not. I had a soft side waterbed at home and I wanted my waterbed. So I called my best friend and she came with another friend and the firemen carried me out to my car and drove me home with the friend driving her car behind us. And they carried me into my apartment. I was in the duplex at that point. Thank God, because no steps. The duplex was completely level, no steps. And they rented me a wheelchair. Mom got that. And my ex-husband, Dale, who had just broken up with his whatever, they never got married, so his baby mama, he slept on my couch and took care of me for 6 months. So that was my experience with the sinkhole. I have horrid PTSD from it. If I have to walk over any floor or ground that sinks under my foot for even a second, I go into a full-blown panic attack. I went to look at an apartment back when I was first back in St. Pete. And first strike, it was on the second floor, and I don't like doing stairs. But when I walked into the door of the apartment, the whole floor went, and I was like, hell no, I didn't even look at the rest of the apartment. I turned around and walked out, and then had a really bad case of vertigo looking down the stairs because they were ultra steep ones. I was like, no, nope, 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 never do that again. It's what stopped me from doing things like DoorDash and Instacart and things like that. Because most of the people who order either food delivery or I don't know if she can see me this time. She's doing her slow cruise. Poor thing. Her eyesight's gotten bad, but she hasn't given up her car. And she can't sleep. So when she can't sleep, she slowly cruises around the streets of our neighborhood because there's no traffic. Well, aren't you a pervert and a half? Okay. Blocked. Hey, Tracy. Sorry. I met someone that works at the Walmart up the road from me, whose first name was Tracy. And she was, oh no, this thing is automatically putting a filter on. My skin's not flawless. Seriously. I can't figure out how to turn the damn filter off. I've noticed some of the vertical dramas and stuff now are using AI for when they have to dub from one language to another. And it's really unnerving. Still really hot. $47. I need to go inside for a minute and use the restroom. I want to make sure I could. They're not going to give me the little puzzle piece quite yet. Oh. Oh, son of a biscuit eater. Why the heck? I gotta stand up. Oh. Okay, I'm standing. Sort of. Oh. Oh, what the hell? That just came out of nowhere. I will be back in a couple of minutes. Oh. I'm surprised Heimdall hasn't hopped up on the bench. Oh. Okay, that's better. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, when I first moved in here, well, 5.5 years ago, it was 550 once you added the water, sewage, and garbage pickup. And it's now going to be 900-ish, give or take, like 10 on either side of the 900 mark. And my income has not gone up in a equal manner. So yeah. Miss my mouth. I'm here, Lori. I'm here. I hadn't gone live in a while. I thought since I'm sitting out here eating anyway. Quite a few people in this park have sold their property because they just couldn't afford to live here anymore. Some of the snowbirds just aren't coming back to this park. They got places elsewhere because they couldn't afford the lot rent anymore. It wouldn't be so bad if you're a snowbird if you could rent it out for the 6 months that you're not here. But you can't. But you've got to continue paying lot rent because your home is still on their property. So they're here from November through April, possibly May, which is about 6 months. And while they're living here, that lot rent isn't so bad. But when you're not here, you're paying that plus whatever taxes and property fees and stuff that you have with your home up north. So, no, they can't sublet during the northern months. And that's the thing that makes it ridiculous. If you could sublet, if you could get someone to pay, even if it's just the lot rent, it takes that burden off of you. It should, but it isn't. The only bonus when they're not here on paying lot rent is they're not having to pay the water, electric, or water, well, electric, but for the park, the water, the sewage, and the garbage pickup, because they're not here. So they can turn the water off when they leave. And that way there's no leaks or anything that could cost them money. So that comes to about somewhere between $45 and $65 each month, depending on how much water usage you have. And then I think they have the electric turned off when they're not here year round. which means that they have to empty and open the refrigerator so that it doesn't go rancid inside. So I don't know where I'm going, honestly. I have no clue. I had somebody suggest a live-in situation helping an elderly person who is in a wheelchair, but they were talking about the household. The woman is totally helpless, and her house is in as bad a shape as mine. I don't need to go from this to worse. So I have thought about calling Kathleen, who was Kim's foster mom, but that woman's a narcissist, and do I need to put myself in that kind of a situation? I can't sell. It's in such bad shape, I can't sell. Honestly, I keep buying a lottery ticket each week. One. It's $5. There's that puzzle piece. I knew it was coming. But I keep hoping that I'll win. Not the whole ball of wax, but enough that I can buy a motorhome of sorts and just be able to take off. Live on the road like my friend does. Yeah, I don't want the whole ball of wax because that's a big headache. I want enough that I could survive on. Get a motorhome and just take off. And have, enough set aside that if there's a breakdown or whatever, that I am not in a panic trying to get it fixed. One of those large transit vans, you can turn them into a pretty efficient tiny home, and that would be perfect for me. Yeah, my stuff is going into storage. I think it'd be so much fun. Maybe take up photography again. And try to make money through photography. Yeah. Sometime this month. It will be this month. They're not going to let me stay here much longer. But, I got to wait for the court's decision. No, they will probably strip it, repair it, do the bare minimum, but they'll remodel it and then sell it to somebody. There are no rentals in this park other than the lot rent itself. Thank you. This is, I added rice to it, but I can't reach it from here. This is the canned beef stew from our church. It's just the right size can for a single serving, but I added rice and carrots, peas, carrots, and broccoli to it. So it's healthier than just potatoes, carrots, and meat. And there's about a half a cup of chicken stock added to cook the rice in. And to keep it from sticking too much, I use the algae oil in the stuff is amazing. Algae Cooking Club, algae cooking oil. Very, very light. It's a clean, neutral oil, seed-free. It has a really high smoke point, 535 degrees Fahrenheit, and 13 grams of omega-9 fatty acids. I'm about middle of the road these days, Lori. I'm having a little more asthma because of the weather and having been sick back in November. I still haven't quite kicked the cough left behind from the ick. I still promote, though I haven't posted anything lately. I got a replacement heater, but the thing came in with a label right across the grill, the heat portion. And when I went to remove the label, it didn't remove. It left a whole lot of paper and glue. So I've got to find I have one. If you look in my link tree, I have one. I've not been promoting it, and I won't. Because I got tired of people giving me a really hard time. Oh, thank you. Oh, that's beautiful. Night Star. That's beautiful, Jody. So anyway, I've got to find a way to get that off of there so I can use it without having a fire. I wrote to the company saying, that was really stupid on your all's part to put a label there that cannot be easily removed. And they're like, have you tried using rubbing alcohol? And I thought, gee, how could I have a fire even faster? Yeah, let's put rubbing alcohol across the front grill of the heater. That makes sense. Honestly, yeah. And then I got a different one. I put it down over there. For when I'm in the car and not in a home. It's one of the ones they're advertising that you can put on your dash or on the center console and it will heat your car. So on the extra cold nights, I will have something. And yes, it runs off the cigarette lighter. Though that's going to be problematic because in my car, the cigarette lighter will stay on for like 20 minutes and then it shuts off. So it doesn't even get power. So I'm going to have to start the car like every hour to get the heat going again. But we'll see how it works. Oh, that's okay. Don't worry about it, Elizabeth. Lori, that's a good question. For a while, I will stay here. There's Goldie. But I don't know how long. I'm not exactly going to go up north right now. I actually have thought about going to Texas because I've got a whole lot of friends in Texas. Not that I necessarily have a place to live in Texas, but I have a lot of people that I can, if I had a motor home of some sort, I could at least, park in their driveway kind of thing. Thank you. Okay. That's odd. Well, I'm still here. Last year took quite a toll on me, physically and mentally. I'm not at the capacity that I used to be. Yeah, that's true. No. And I'm being evicted. Kind of halfway voluntarily. Because I just can't keep up with lot rent anymore. They've raised it again. My one cousin is living somewhere in Mexico, and I've really been seriously thinking about going to find where she's living. But I probably won't. I don't speak Spanish at all. I don't think Mexico's the right direction for me. Totally missed my mouth. How's things up in Joyzy? Here in Florida, the rent tripled the first year of COVID, and it's never come back down very much. It's stayed ridiculous. Sorry. Dad's little joke on us was hooking up the tear ducts to the sinuses. I got weepy earlier about a nostalgic moment, and now my nose is running. Dang. Lot rent here for a double wide would be about $1,200. They really are. And down here, since the hurricanes, a lot of the places have mold. It's up in the air conditioning. So even the walls were taken care of. They didn't do anything to remediate the air conditioning. So people are still getting sick and having to move back out of their places. It is. And Hurricane Helene flooded so much of St. Petersburg. Yeah, in Virginia, it was pushing $750 for the double wides. We were in a single wide, and we paid $450 a month back in 2013 when I left the mobile home park. There's a huge waiting list. There's a good chance Heimdall is about to leap up and start barking vociferously. But he missed the CAT that walked by. This isn't a nightgown, it's actually a dress. In Big Bayou neighborhood, down near Bay Pines and stuff, or in downtown or northeast St. Pete, South St. Pete. Okay, there's the one that's on Lake Magori. There's the one in Gulfport. That's probably it, because that's where the bayou is. I don't begrudge single moms the help. It's a really... Oh, Chataway's is so wonderful. That's my favorite place to eat. I didn't know there was a mobile home park near Chataway. Oh, I think I know exactly what you're talking about. I didn't know they had flooding. It stands to reason, but Chataway is like my favorite place in all of St. Pete. Oh, senior community. Oh, I know what you're talking about. I know exactly where you're talking about now. There is a hospital in that area too. What is the name of the hospital? It's a hospital/rehab center. And they flooded really bad. Oh, I like Culver's too. I love their pot roast sandwich. And I'm a big fan of their fried fish, which is not fresh, but it's made by them and it's really, really good. Yeah, I've got like 12 of these because they were cheap and they're really, really comfortable. Honestly, it's what I wore most of the summer because it was the coolest thing I had to wear. Mm. I'm afraid I'm reaching a stalling point. Hey, Darby. That's because the tariffs. Timu's gotten ridiculous. It's not that the prices went up, it's the shipping and taxes went up. Um, it was one of the reasons, one of the things, yeah, the idiot in the White House. It was one of the things that he was targeting. So, food done. I'll carry that in to wash it. And I have to be up in a little over 5 hours, so I probably should head to bed. Walmart, they've taken the price labels off of like the clothing and stuff because everything went up like $2 because of tariffs. I went to buy a shirt the other day that had long sleeves because cold, and or no, it was the pants, and the tag hadn't had the price removed. It said $17.98 on the tag, and when they rang it up, it came up as $19.98. And she says, "I'm sorry, they were supposed to pull that," and she ripped the bottom of the tag off right in front of me. Kind of a piss me off. Peace, technically, I do now. I found out that I have a half sister from my father's side. He is long passed, but I have a half sister, and her kids all live here in the St. Pete area. So I haven't met them yet, mostly because I am just going through so much crap, and I don't want that to color our first meeting. You know, I don't want her to think that I've tried to find her because I needed a handout. It's not why I want to have contact with my sister or family. I haven't asked either of my brothers. The only thing I've asked Joe is if he thought there was a chance that I could find a place to live up near him cheaper than I would down here. And not really. So, and my half sister in Chattanooga is struggling as much as I am. since our mom passed away. So, Joe's in Georgia. Jim currently is in the Villages here in Florida, which is about 3 hours away. No, it used to be cheaper, but it isn't. And Tennessee has gotten, its rates have skyrocketed too. Oh my gosh. Talk on it. Yeah, I'm going to have to get off of here in a few minutes. I need to get something out of my car that I didn't carry in earlier. I know. It's the prices here have just gone ridiculous. I should say the prices everywhere has gone ridiculous. Used to be in Tennessee in like not in Sevierville and Gatlinburg and stuff, because that's the expensive area, but just outside of that area. Used to be you could get land, farmland or whatever, for super cheap, and now it's catching up again. Yes, again, if you go into my link in my bio, everything is right there. There's a list of all the different apps that I have listed. Yeah, I need to get my asthma inhaler too. I'm starting to feel that up. It should be there. Now, I can't look like I used to because I don't have two phones. So, I dropped the second phone number and I recycled the phone because just didn't have the money to keep it going, and the phone was so old it was not refreshing or not updating anymore. She saw me this time. Big waves. I think that's her fourth pass. The funny thing is we both drive Kia Souls. Hers is a much older one though. Probably like a 2015 or 16. Mine's a 2020, and the gal who lives 2 doors down from me has a, I think 2023 or 24. It's fairly new. She's got the candy apple red, or what I call candy apple red. It's very bright red. Only thing I didn't like about the red, it's a sport package, and the windows have such a dark tint. And I don't like it so dark that you have to roll the windows down to see the house numbers when you're driving. So, kind of defeats the whole purpose of having windows and air conditioning and stuff. Hey, Sean. Optical illusion. Mine is silver, the really light silver. Anyhow, yeah, okay. I gotta give in. My eyes are my eyes are trying to roll back. Oh, thank you. I like the fireworks. Much love to you too, Jody and Darby and Sean, and I'm not sure who else of my crew. Chris, Vegas Crisis guy. Yeah. Brain? What is brain? Jody, Kathy. I don't know if RC Cola stayed, but her. Peace. I I have I had a friend growing up whose name was Joy Love. And I said, all we need is faith and peace, and we'll have the whole set. Anyway, in fact, I knew a girl in Virginia whose last name was Love also. Can't remember what her first name was. She was with one of the troops, the singing troops at Renfest. And I think the name of their group was the Naughty Nymphs. They were so much fun. But she was on Jeopardy twice. So, she was a lot of fun. Ooh, boy, did she have a voice. Wow, I love listening to her sing. So, Parting Glass, one of my favorite songs from Renfest. Anyway, I need to find a way to play Parting Glass when I end my lives. I think that would be so apropos because it fits me. Anyhow, hope y'all have a really, really wonderful night and a good week. And Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I'm trying to be quiet so my neighbors don't get pissed at me. Anyhow, good night, everybody. Yeah, I'm losing my voice. My hand is trying to do something that it's not supposed to do to turn off the app. I'm going like this. No, it's this. Yeah, it's bedtime. Night all.